In my previous video, I talked about my struggle with a bad case of bipolar disorder. I gave a lot of credit to finding the right medication when it comes to my recovery. However, besides medication, there are other things that I do or don't do in life to maintain my mental health. In this video, I want to share my insights into other supportive means of treating a mental illness. First of all, I want to address a common misconception about mental illness. Most people define mental illness as a psychological condition. Yes, they do display psychological symptoms, but in actuality, mental illness is a medical condition. It's not the mind that's sick, it's the brain that's sick. In the same nature as any other illnesses happening in other parts of our body. Therefore, they should be approached in a similar way. Imagine someone has just been diagnosed with diabetes. Aside from medical intervention, what can this person do to improve their health? Common sense tells them that they should adapt to a healthier lifestyle by eating a lot of veggies and fruits instead of junk food, drinking plenty of water, exercising regularly, and trying to lose weight if they are overweight, having at least 6 to 8 hours of sleep each day, etc. The truth is, these are also the keys to maintain and improve a person's mental health in a way that most people are not consciously aware of. I was very overweight for a couple of years and then I started to swim and eat healthier. By the time I lost about 40 pounds, it was also the turning point where I felt much better mentally. The positive changes are slow and gradual, but once our physical body is well nourished and rested, we will feel much better mentally. Aside from what we must do to live a healthier life, there are things we ought to avoid. The first step towards recovery is to avoid or quit drinking, smoking, and any substances that will alter the chemical makeups in the brain, especially recreational drugs that can offset the effects of medication. In many cases, when a person is depressed, they tend to abuse alcohol or other substances as a coping mechanism, but unfortunately, this will only worsen their condition. Those toxic habits are often associated with partying, which is another unhealthy thing that depressed people do to cope. It often gives people a false feeling of being less lonely. Partying excessively can overstimulate the brain and makes it even harder to sleep. Sleep is super duper important for someone whose brain is sick. Not having a structural life routine, not having enough sleep on a regular basis can be the very reason of a fully blown episode. There are other behavioral things that we should avoid if we have a mental illness. In the past, there was a contestant on Survivor who committed suicide after being eliminated from the show. Most people with mental illness are extra sensitive and vulnerable to public criticisms and humiliation. If that's the case with you, it's best not to sign up in the first place. Do not unnecessarily and intentionally put yourself in a position where you are asked to be judged and trolled. And don't work obsessively over something where you are likely to take failures too seriously. As someone with bipolar, this kind of life event is usually the trigger of mania and depression. It's true that it takes extra amount of effort and energy for a depressed person to start making positive changes. It's easy to get pulled down and stay down, but hard to find the strength and motivation to get up and change for the better. Especially when the effects are not immediate, it can be very discouraging. Medication and having a healthy lifestyle can only bring me to the level of an average person, but I think my mental health is better than most people I know of, and that's because of my faith in Jesus. God has truly restored me from all my regrets, pain, and shamefulness. I handled my stress and conflict in life in His way, which brings me peaceful resolution every time. The Bible is a manual on how to live a joyful life in spite of circumstances. Without my faith, I don't think I can truly overcome my mental illness and my spinal cord injury. Well, I hope you will also seek Him and find Him and understand what I'm talking about. You can find my book Leap on Amazon, and you can also read it for free from this website. The link is in the description section of this video. In my next video on this mental health series, I want to talk about how to help someone who is acutely suicidal. Meanwhile, if you have any particular questions about mental illness and mental health, please leave it in the comment section. Thank you. I'll see you next time.